The film opens in a hospital where many parents are raving about their newborn babies, with the sole exception of Mr. and Mrs. Wormwood. Despite their disbelief at Mrs. Wormwood's pregnancy, they raise their daughter Matilda and refer to her as a boy. Matilda is intelligent and likes to immerse herself in books, as her only friend is the local librarian Mrs. Phelps. The Wormwoods receive a visit from a school inspector named Joe from Crunchem Hall, and a teacher at the school, Miss Jennifer Honey. They express concern that Matilda has not been sent to school because her parents are too negligent to do so. Miss Honey talks to Matilda and tells her what subjects she will be learning. Mr. Wormwood is upset that they are being fined for not giving Matilda a proper education and tells her that he has called the principal, Agatha Trunchbull, and believes that she will take care of Matilda. She then sneaks into her parents' bathroom and dyes Mr. Wormwood's tonic with hair dye, turning his hair green. The next day, Matilda goes to Crunchem Hall and arrives an hour early. She is discovered by Mrs. Phelps and spends time with her, telling her a made-up story about an escape artist and his wife, an acrobat who were known for performing incredibly dangerous but impressive feats in their circus. Just as Matilda arrives at the spot where they are to perform their greatest stunt, the school bell rings, and Matilda begins her day. Matilda quickly makes friends with another new girl, Lavender. The older prefects show up and warn her about what they are in for. Matilda arrives in Miss Honey's class and impresses her by solving equations written on the board after misinterpreting her request to sand the board. Miss Honey goes to Trunchbull to tell her that Matilda is an exceptional student, but the cruel principal thinks all the children are maggots and brags about her own accomplishments as a hammer thrower to justify how she runs the school and treats the children. At home, Mr. Wormwood tells her that he is going to sell some customers luxury cars, and then tears up Matilda's library copy of The Grapes of Wrath to act like a little jerk after the girl criticizes his business methods. Matilda responds by putting super glue in his hat. At school, Matilda meets other kids such as Eric, Nigel, Amanda Thripp, and Bruce Bogtrotter. They all think Crunchem Hall is a prison, just like Trunchbull runs it. One of the perfect girls tells them about Choky, Trunchbull's shed in the woods, which she uses as punishment. Nigel comes running out after Trunchbull thinks he poured syrup on her chair. Matilda gets the other children to hide Nigel under their jackets just as Trunchbull orders everyone to line up. Matilda tells Trunchbull that Nigel suffers from narcolepsy, and they all cover him up so he does not get sunburned. Trunchbull looks for an excuse to be mad and calls Amanda out for her braids, whereupon she grabs the girl by the hair, throws her around, and flings her far away. Later, Matilda continues her story for Mrs. Phelps by making it seem as if they are attending the performance of the escape artist and the acrobat. She builds in a character based on Trunchbull, the acrobat's wicked stepsister, who was a former hammer thrower. When the acrobat wanted to back out of the big, dangerous stunt because of her pregnancy, the stepsister forced her to continue as she invented a contract that the acrobat signed. Matilda lets the story end at this point. During lunch the next day, Miss Honey tells Matilda that she will bring a special selection of books for her. Trunchbull comes in and accuses Matilda or one of the children of stealing her private chocolate cake. While everyone is silent, Bruce emits a long, powerful belch that gives off a chocolate scent and lets Trunchbull know that he is the culprit. She then goes to him and offers to forgive him if he can finish the big chocolate cake that the food lady made, even though he is very full. The other children encourage him, and he eats every last crumb, even the cherries on top. But Trunchbull still wants to send him to Choky. Despite Matilda's protests, Trunchbull has Bruce picked up. On the way home, the children sing songs about their dreams as adults. Matilda returns to Mrs. Phelps to continue the story in which the acrobat had to do the stunt, where she floated over a shark tank with dynamite strapped to her body. While the escapologist was trying to save her, she fell and broke all the bones in her body. Doctors were able to save her baby, but the strain of childbirth was too much, and the acrobat died after asking her husband to take care of her daughter. Unfortunately, The evil stepsister took over the care of the girl and treated her cruelly behind the back of the escape artist. Matilda goes home and finds out that her father sold his fake luxury cars to some rich men who claim that he removed the mileage of the cars, even though they have 100,000 euros in the account. Matilda retreats to her room where she continues her story alone and lets the escape artist find out how cruelly his daughter is being treated. He tried to take his daughter away from the stepsister, but was never seen again. When Miss Honey tries to give the children a funny lecture, Trunchbull intervenes and forces them to go outside, despite the rain, where they have to go through a physical education class with hard exercises. Matilda then discovers that she has telekinetic powers and uses them to put a nude in Trunchbull's water cup. She blames Eric and starts pulling on his ears to stretch them unnaturally, whereupon Matilda uses her powers again to put the nude in Trunchbull's shirt and make it crawl into her trousers. Matilda then shows Miss Honey her powers by making the cup float. Miss Honey invites Matilda to her home for tea. She begins to tell the girl her own story about her father Magnus, who was an escape artist while her mother was an acrobat. Miss Honey was raised by her cruel step-aunt Trunchbull. Matilda realizes that her story is all about Miss Honey, and it is implied that Trunchbull killed Magnus. Matilda is fed up with Trunchbull's cruelty and runs home in the rain, where she uses her powers to destroy the Chokey in the forest. When Matilda gets home, she finds her parents packing their bags in a panic because the men Mr. Wormwood ripped off are mafia, and although they demanded their money back within 24 hours, Mrs. Wormwood spent it all. They are on their way to Spain and tell Matilda she must go with them, forcing her to say goodbye to Miss Honey and the friends she has made. Heartbroken, Matilda leaves a note for Mrs. Phelps saying that not every story has a happy ending. Trunchbull gathers all the students in a room as revenge for the destruction of the Chokey. She then reveals that she has built a new, even more dangerous-looking Chokey and tries to use it against Lavender after making her spell a made-up word. The other kids start to rebel and spell other words wrong, so Trunchbull cannot punish them all. She then reveals that she made Chokeys for all of them in advance. Matilda then uses her powers to write a message on the board pretending to be Magnus to scare Trunchbull, which works. Matilda makes Trunchbull's hair look like braids and creates a humanoid figure out of chains, which she uses to destroy the other Chokeys and grab Trunchbull by the hair and swing her around the room like a hammer before throwing her out through the roof. After she lands, Miss Honey confronts her evil step-aunt and orders her to leave and never come back. Trunchbull does so and runs away in terror, whereupon all the children cheer and celebrate her deliverance from the tyrant. Mr. and Mrs. Wormwood show up to persuade Matilda to go with them, but Miss Honey offers to adopt Matilda. Her parents agree, and she parts with them after Matilda helps her father get rid of his hat. As a result, Matilda runs into the arms of Miss Honey. In the end, Miss Honey takes over the school and has it renamed the Great Friendly School. Matilda keeps her friends and still sees Mrs. Phelps, and she now has a happy new life with Miss Honey. Thanks for joining us as we explored Matilda, the musical. We hope you enjoyed learning about the plot, characters, and themes of this film. If you found this video helpful or entertaining, please give it a like and consider sharing it with your friends who are also fans of the movie. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more movie-related content. We appreciate your support and look forward to bringing you more movie explanations and analysis in the future. Thanks again for watching, and we hope you have a great day.